All right, let's talk accommodation. So, the first kind of accommodation that we're going to talk about in this training course is convergence. Now, convergence is you changing your speech or communication style to fit the person that you're trying to fit in with or the group you're trying to get into, right? In this example, this should be us using our professional response in our magnum opus, all right? Now, I know you're probably asking to yourself, why would you do that if the answer is not true? Like, why would you go out of your way to say a massive paragraph about the throes of life when in reality you just make it look cool? And that's a valid question, but but you got to think about what's at stake here. Like I said earlier, these professionals in the art world, this sphere, this social culture that you are trying to get into, they hold the keys to your success. They hold gallery bookings, professional connections, print manufacturers or print shop connections. They own software deals. They own jobs. They own influence at the end of the day. Like, to get into the circle is to be accepted as an artist and to have a way to fully maximize your career. Now, do you need to be in the circle to do these things? Absolutely not. It makes it easier, though, and it makes the success rate for your career a lot higher. So, with your future on the line, you're kind of incentivized to converge, to adapt your style to theirs. And it happens way more than you think. Think of your job, right? At work, you don't want to get fired. So if your boss asks you, or if your boss sends you the most irritating email at 2 a.m, you're not going to tell them to buzz off. You're going to tell them, thanks for reaching out, I'll get on that. Why? Because you want your job. Because to be in the social sphere you're in, to be in the economic sphere you're in, to be in the lifestyle you are, you have to keep this job. So to keep it, you're going to accommodate a little bit. Now, to use this effectively is one of the best tools a designer can have. Let me put it to you this way. I'm pitching you an idea, right? I'm on the brand team for Coca-Cola, and we're trying to go broad in France, right? We have this new product we want to kick off, X, Y, and B. If I want this to hit with French audiences, I'm going to have to know how the French speak. I'm going to have to learn how the French tell jokes, what icons the French use in their media, what stands out as something that is to be revered and what is something that is hated. Do they hate certain design layouts? Do they hate phrases? Do they use punctuation at the end of their advertisements? Do they go big in their advertisements? Do they go small? Do they use alarmist phrases or do they use mundane phrases? All of these things I have to know as the designer to make a compelling campaign and pitch to Coca-Cola France. If I don't know these things, I'm not in their social circle. So I can make an ad that doesn't take any of these things into account, but it's not going to hit the same. It's not going to do what I want it to do. And the same logic goes for your artistic career, goes towards your design career, right? If I'm a designer, I want to make it easier on myself to get the print shops, to get the connections, to get the job opportunities that I want. So if I'm in the social settings of a meet and greet, I'm gonna conform. Not because I want to per se, not because I love to, but because I understand that to do so is to make my life easier. But with that easiness comes a drawback. You see, with convergence, like I said earlier, you are giving a part of yourself to take on someone else's communication style. And I wasn't being facetious about it. You are actually giving part of yourself away. You have your own voice, your own communication style, how you grew up, your own culture. When you accommodate someone else's, you're giving that away. You're swapping places. You're swapping that piece of you for a piece of them for you to be able to use it effectively. And in the process, you can lose yourself so fast. It's really easy. I've lost myself. It sucks. It's not fun. The way you lose yourself is you keep giving away pieces of yourself because you're accommodating to everyone and everything at the same time. And eventually you don't have your own voice. You have others' voices disguised as your own. And that's not good. We want to avoid it as designers, because as designers, our voice, it's our weapon, it's our power. So, as I say to many young designers, know your voice before you say anything, before you even attempt to do anything, because the design world is brutal and it'll tear you limb from limb. If you don't have your own voice, you become the voice of the machine. So, use it sparingly, use it strategically to get what you want, to get what you want to get, but always have that piece of you there. Good? Good. That's convergence, right? Cool, dope. But what if you don't want to converge? What if you want to look at that? What if you want to take it back to our magnum opus, right? What if you wanted to look at that art professor, at that art peer, and tell them, you know what? You suck it. It's because it looks cool. That's why. Could you do that? Yes. That's called divergence. Now, divergence is the exact opposite. It's exactly what it sounds like. You go out of your way to not accommodate the other person's communication style. Now, this is actually way more difficult to do than it sounds like. Because again, you have to be aware of their communication style and your communication style, and you have to almost exaggerate it. It has its pros and cons. With a divergence, you are setting yourself out from the crowd. You're making an active statement. That statement is, I don't want to be a part of your group. I don't stand for whatever this social group is. I'm going to do my own thing. I'm going to diverge and be myself. That's the pro. You get to keep your voice and you get to make a bold statement. The con is it almost always knocks you out of the in-group. Now, it can keep you, sometimes, especially in the art field, that level of divergence is moxie. It's a drive. So that can still get you in the in-group. It'll just keep you on the outskirts of the in-group. But most of the time, that'll put you directly in the out-group, right? So again, with our design example, the peer comes up, they ask what it is, and you just say, oh, it's because it looks cool. The peer then goes, is that really it? And you go, yes. That's divergence. You just straight up deny, I guess, the system at play and do your own thing. Now, there are micro levels to this, right? Because again, and we'll get into this later, just giving you a preview, but it doesn't have to be in speech. It can be in behaviors. It can be in what you do. That's behaviors. I'm stupid. It doesn't have to just be in speech. It can also be in things like behaviors or tone and context, right? If someone is coming up to you, you just maybe you do say the paragraph, but you add a irritated tone on top of it. You add a disgusted tone on top of the paragraph. You're still diverging. Now, it's not as steep of a diverging as previous, but you're still diverging nonetheless. And this can play a role. If you are in marketing, if you're in design marketing, designing a pitch, sometimes the best advertising strategy is to be divergent. It is to look at the culture you're trying to penetrate and say, hey, you suck, and do something different. That happens. It's a swing and a miss, but it does happen. So, both convergence and divergence have their lanes. They both can do what you need them to do depending on the topic. But these two will be your primary tools in using your words to get what you want. Making effective communication front and center. Because again, as designers, we need to be effective communicators. We need to not waste our words. Our words are valuable. We need to use them wisely. This is how you do it. These are the main two. In the next lesson, we'll get into two other forms of it. But for the most part, these are the two ways of communication that you will be following. I don't know what that just was, but I think that's it. I think we've done it. Huzzah!